There's been a huge clash in the House of Commons today over the situation in Sudan as the political left demand that Britain open its doors to all people from Sudan with a population of 45 million. But our Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, has rejected the idea. It's getting absolutely tiring that there's no nuance when it comes to these sort of debates. The international conflicts, geopolitical issues, the refugees, economic migrants, political refugees, everybody, the political left want to have a blanket policy for all around the world. This tiny island, the United Kingdom, must be responsible for everything that happens around the world, and we have to open our doors to everyone. And then if we say no, if we say we don't have the infrastructure, then they say you are heartless, you are ruthless, you don't care about the vulnerable around the world. It's not true, is it? Considering how generous this country has been already to millions of people around the world. So the issue right now is short-term planning. Suella Braverman was asked whether she would open the doors to all the migrants from Sudan because of the conflict, just one country, the United Kingdom. Well, she said no, absolutely not. And Rishi Sunak also said no during Prime Minister's questions, which is good news coming from the Prime Minister. Suella said, "We have no plans to bring in Sudanese refugees. Our focus, first and foremost, right now, and bearing in mind that this is a fast-moving situation and a complex situation, is to support British nationals and their dependents, those who are British nationals in Sudan, who were there for some reason, whether they were working or they were just visiting or whatever happened, the diplomats with the embassy and everybody else. So that's usually the priority. And of course, when it comes to any regional conflicts, international conflicts, the priority will be the so-called United Nations to have the facilities and the camps just outside the border of those conflict zones to make sure people are safe until the conflict's over and people could return. That's usually how it used to work in the past, and neighboring countries help. But not anymore, because we have no idea what we're doing anymore around the world. It's not just Britain or America, it's everybody, the globalists, the institutions, the United Nations, everybody. They don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. And this is the problem. When Stephen Flynn, the Westminster leader of the SNP, stood up in the House of Commons earlier on to demand that the Prime Minister open his doors, Britain's doors to everybody from Sudan, and if you say no, then you're just not compassionate without understanding the lack of logistics around this issue, infrastructure. We already have problems. Flynn said, "To be clear, I think everyone in the House of Commons is aware of this, that children in Sudan are already losing their lives." But that's obvious. We know that. And it is absolutely disgusting situation right now in Sudan. We know. But then Flynn has called for more humanity in the debate from all sides. And then asked if the government has any plans to detain or deport child refugees who flee Sudan. But they don't really flee Sudan and come to the United Kingdom directly. There are various safe countries in the middle. So if somebody, regardless of age, happened to get on a boat from France to come in here, it's no longer the same situation because they were already safe in France. The problem that we have is right now with the small boats coming from France, not Sudan. Even if someone from Sudan actually leaves that country, they will end up somewhere else first before coming to Great Britain. That's the problem that they don't understand. Rishi Sunak, rightly so, actually said that no, we don't have any plan like that. We're not going to do that. He said that the UK has already invested almost £250,000 in humanitarian support, which is already a massive problem in Sudan in the past 5 years. And noted that the UK has welcomed almost 500,000 vulnerable people to the country in the last few years from various places, whether it's Hong Kong or Afghanistan or Ukraine or obviously other places. How many people is enough? How can we support them and our people in this country? This is not us turning our back around in terms of anything that happens in the world. The government's already been spending taxpayers' money on these foreign aid projects. There's been a massive failure already. We've already brought in people using legal safe routes from Hong Kong and Ukraine and Afghanistan. You can't really expect Britain to support every single nation with huge populations. Sudan has 45 million people living in there right now. How are we, one tiny island, supposed to be supporting every single person from there? Is this the way to play geopolitics these days? Is this you being compassionate? You're not helping them. There's no capacity to help them or our people at the same time. It's disgusting. Absolutely. Everything has to become party political. This is the issue. There's no nuance. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.